Welcome to another episode of the Berg Podcast, where we talk about all things Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I'm your host, Justin Suarez. Also known as the Hub City, or just the Berg, Hattiesburg is a bustling town in southern Mississippi. It's an educational, culture, business, entertainment, and medical hub for the region, and we're pleased to share stories from our community. On today's episode of the Berg Podcast, we'll feature interviews with two people shaping the business scene in downtown Hattiesburg, along with two compelling audio essays. In our first interview, Lauren Henderson talks with the assistant manager of the first ever boutique grocery store in downtown Hattiesburg.
I'm Lauren Henderson for the Berg Podcast. Today I'm interviewing Mia Goday as part of our regular series interviewing interesting people of the Pine Belt. Mia is a senior marketing major from Louisiana, and she's currently the assistant manager of Sincerely Grocery, an up-and-coming store in downtown Hattiesburg. Mia, thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so when did y'all open, and how's business been going so far?
We soft opened in January, the beginning of January, and our real opening, grand opening, was February 1st, and so far it's been going really good. I mean, it's really good for, the people of downtown Hattiesburg, so.
That's really great. So what kind of products does Sincerely Grocery carry?
They sell pretty much basically, basic grocery items, so you'll see your bread, cheese, tomato paste type of things, but we also have kind of unique products that you'd only see probably online or small businesses that you can't find everywhere.
That's really cool. So, I mean, I know you said it's kind of small business type products, but what makes Sincerely Grocery different from any other grocery store?
Well, kind of, you can't find it at a regular grocery store. So if you follow someone on TikTok or something and you know that you can only buy it online and you don't have time to wait for their product to come in, then you can get it right at our store. So, yeah.
That's really cool. So I said that you're assistant manager. So how did you become assistant manager?
I became assistant manager through basically interviews, but my boss, she said she found my experience with inventory very interesting, and then also I'm a marketing student, so she thought that would also be an asset to the store.
That's really cool. So what does your job entail? What do you specifically do for the store?
Yeah, I do marketing, which for me it's basically social media marketing. So I run our Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and I post weekly different content, so reels, carousels, and just regular posts. But as just a regular assistant manager, I help, do inventory just a little bit. And I also help with everyday kind of operations.
Well, that sounds like a lot of work, but it sounds like you're having a good time with it. So what is your favorite product that y'all sell? I know that you said you have a lot of interesting items. So what is your favorite?
Honestly, we do have a lot of good snacks, and because I do work there, of course, I'm always kind of hungry. So we have some really interesting snacks. So instead of doing a regular potato chip, I typically do what is Boulder chips, and we have a salt vinegar one, but they're really good. So yeah.
That's really cool. Sounds delicious. So what would you say the most popular item y'all have sold so far?
It is definitely one of our small businesses. She actually works at the store. Her name is Jerry Thompson, and she makes gluten-free baked goods. So good, amazing. But she has these brownies. Those are really good sellers. And then she makes chess squares, which are kind of an older thing, more older people know about them. So they find that and they think it's really cool. So yeah.
That's really cool. I like that it's gluten-free. That gives a lot of option for people. That carries me into my next question. So do you guys carry allergen-friendly items? I know you said gluten-free, but do you have any other allergen-friendly stuff?
Yeah, so we have a lot of dairy-free items. So people that are vegan, we have a lot of things like that. So we'll have normal cheese, but also have a vegan cheese, or we have gluten-free pasta. So we have a lot of different options. And I mean, people come in and they're like, oh, you only have this. But we have normal stuff, but we also carry a lot of allergen-friendly things because people can't find that at a regular store. So yeah.
That's cool. So what's your favorite part about your job? What do you do specifically that you like a lot?
Well, because I'm in marketing, I always, I'm looking for a job that is specifically in that. And because marketing is so popular right now, it is kind of competitive. However, I'm doing it in an upcoming store. I'm learning so much, and I'm finding new ways to do new things. So honestly, just doing the social media is my favorite because I get to be creative, and I don't do that in my everyday life. So yeah.
That's awesome. I'm glad that you have an outlet for that. So can you tell me a fun fact about the store? Is there anything interesting that you haven't said already?
Yeah, so actually currently right now we have a cat in the store. I don't know how long he'll be there, but he's kind of like our bodega cat in a way, and everyone comes in and sees him, and it's just like a like fun way to interact with us, and it brightens everybody's day up. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. So I do have to ask, how did you find this cat? Where did this cat come from?
It's from my boss's like husband's job. He was basically a street cat in the simplest form, but he's a sweetie and he loves people, and he's amazing. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Love a cat. So do you guys work with any local farmers or suppliers like for your products?
Yeah, we work with a lot of local suppliers. Like I said, everything's kind of local businesses and small businesses. But specifically, we work with Smith's Honey, and they're local in Hattiesburg. And we also work with the Big Creole Farmer, or sorry, I almost forgot his name. Dennis Dahmer. He makes sugarcane syrup, and he does like different produce and stuff, but we sell his products at the store. And we have what's called a local or small business tree. So it's small businesses, but a lot of them are local, like Mulu Cacao, which is a coffee company. So we like feature them. We make sure they're out front and center for everyone to see. So yeah.
That's awesome. I like that you guys help a lot of local businesses. So are there any unique in-store experiences or events that customers can look forward to?
We do have a few things up our sleeve, I guess, that I can't necessarily say yet. But, I mean, just going into Sincerely Grocery in general is just a great experience itself, because next door we also have Studio 522, which is a dance / like art studio. And then we have an art, gallery upstairs. So Prospect on Main is what the whole building is called. So just walking into that building is a great experience within itself. So, yeah.
That's really cool. So are there any seasonal or limited time products that customers should keep an eye out for?
Yeah, I mean, and a really cool thing about Sincerely Grocery is we're constantly changing things. We are a boutique grocery store, so if you know anything about a boutique, they're constantly changing what they have. So we just did like our Valentine's Day things. Right now we're switching to like spring, Easter-esque things. So we're constantly changing out our products and also like, trying to match with whatever season it is. So yeah.
That's cool. I mean, that sounds like it'll be really great over time. So what challenges have you guys faced since opening, if you have, and how have you overcome them?
Well, I think something any new business would experience is sometimes you're slow. Especially since people are just trying to figure out that, you are there. And a lot of people still come in and they're like, I didn't even know y'all opened. I didn't know y'all were here. And it's kind of my job as social media to make sure that people can see them and like know that we are there. So we've been, trying to sponsor some posts and trying to like reach new audiences and making sure people know we're there. So, yeah.
That's really cool. So what kind of like, what's your target audience? Like, what do you think you're looking for in customers?
Honestly, anybody. It is a grocery store, so obviously everyone shops at a grocery store, but we are kind of focused on downtown Hattiesburg because there is no grocery store, or there isn't like a major grocery store in downtown Hattiesburg. So mostly the people there, but also, college students, because it is a new experience for them, and it's not like Walmart that you'd see anywhere, it's something new for them. And then also, I mean, older people love anything. They love gifts. They always are getting gifts for, their grandchildren or things like that. And we do have like novelties and things like that as well. So yeah.
That's really cool. So you guys, I mean, I know you have a really interesting selection of products, but what would you say is like your least popular aspect?
Maybe probably like our kid and dog type things, those items. I mean, those, yes, you can kind of get anywhere. So it's some of them are really unique brands. So unless you're kind of looking for them, people don't go towards it because that's stuff you have to buy so frequently. Buying one special item, I guess, isn't what people are looking for. So yeah.
Yeah, that's understandable. So if you could describe Sincerely Grocery in 3 words, what would they be?
Probably unique. Community. Well, that's not one word, but just community friendly, and then just open. We're open, so please come in.
Period. That's really cool. So, I mean, what would you say has been your favorite part about working there?
Well, we are a woman-owned and ran business, so I get to work with amazing women, and we are like a very open and honest group of people. Even David Schimper, who owns the building, he's an amazing person, and I just feel like at home there. So yeah.
That's really cool. It seems like you guys feature a lot of like cool brands and a lot of like owned by a lot of different people. Would you say that like you guys have a good array of brands?
Yeah, we definitely do. I mean, we have some repeated brands that like have multiple different products, but we try to have like a lot of different brands, and we're always like looking for some. So if people have recommendations, they'll come in and let us know. We ourselves will give recommendations to our inventory manager. But yeah, we're always trying to find new things. Even on TikTok, we'll see a brand that we think is really cool. So yeah, we have so many different things. So yeah.
That's really awesome. I like that you guys carry such like a cool variation of products. Well, it was really interesting hearing about Sincerely Grocery today. Thank you so much for talking with us.
Of course. Thank you for having me on here today.
I'm Lauren Henderson for the Berg Podcast.
In our next interview, Sonia Woods sits down with a military veteran whose restaurants have transformed downtown Hattiesburg.
I'm Sonia Woods for the Berg Podcast. Today I'm interviewing Nelson Haskin. My guest is a Gulfport native, military veteran, multi-business owner, and Southern Miss alumni. Nelson, thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
You served in the military for quite some time. What inspired you to join the military?
Well, it was kind of a forced decision. I wasn't at the time doing so well in school. So my dad was a recruiter, and he thought that was the best option for me at the time. So I went to the military in 1995 on a part-time status, but it ended up being one of the better decisions I ever made.
As a retired veteran, how was the transition to civilian life for you?
It wasn't too hard. I had spent 6 years in the military from 95 to 2001, and then I took a little break from 2001 to 2007, and then 2008, and then 2008 I actually went back into the military for another 14 years and was on active duty with the Army National Guard as a recruiter also. So when I retired in 2020, I had kind of been on both sides of the fence, so it wasn't a super hard transition for me at the time.
I know you work with the Disabled American Veterans Chapter, number 62. What's that like?
It's a great organization. It really focuses on helping disabled veterans and make sure they understand what their benefit level is, get them help in different areas of their life if they need it. So from a business standpoint, I partner with them on some things. I'm a member also, and just glad that we have events in downtown Hattiesburg, and one of the main ones is Vet Fest every May, and that's just bringing awareness for disabled veterans and getting them any help that they need, but also doing it in a festive manner and in a park. And so that event is really growing, and just glad to be a part of it.
In the military comes excellent discipline. Can you credit your military experience for shaping you into the entrepreneur you are today?
I definitely think it helps. I mean, it really does. It's one of the factors that has helped me as a restaurateur, and as we've grown using some of those military standards and some of those things that I learned in the military, discipline being one, and resiliency also, and managing people from all walks of life. I think you can always carry those into the civilian world. So those characteristics definitely work well in the civilian world also.
In 1996, you worked as a server in the restaurant industry at Chesterfield's and developed a passion for the business. In 2017, you and your wife opened a Blue Jazz Cafe. In that 21-year gap, were you all in the process of developing Blue Jazz Cafe?
So from 96 until we opened Blue Jazz, I was in the military or restaurants or both. So it's been kind of a journey. I've always had my hand in both sides of that and never really got too far away from either being in the military world or having a career in the military and also being in the restaurant hospitality industry. So even when I was full-time, I still did a few things in restaurants and catering and kept my skill level up. So when I fully retired, this was an opportunity for, it was just another opportunity for me to, after my military career, and being that I spent so much time in the hospitality industry, I thought it was a natural transition for me. My wife worked retail since she graduated from college, so she's definitely in a form of hospitality also in the retail business. So I won't say it's a super easy transition, but I think it's one that we were both ready to take on.
How long after you opened Blue Jazz Cafe did you open your other restaurants?
So Blue Jazz opened in 2017, and then Nellie's opened in 2018, and then we acquired Southbound Bagel and Coffee Shop from the original owner in 2019, and then I guess we skipped a year. Then in 2021, during the pandemic, we decided to open Hattiesburgers and Blues, and then in 2023, Bourbon on Front opened. So over the last 8 years, we've been pretty busy.
Is there any inspiration behind the names of your restaurant?
I just kind of like the names to kind of speak and let the customer know what to expect from each restaurant. I think in downtown, for us, we wanted unique restaurants that kept it simple and didn't have a super huge menu. So like Nellie's Chicken and Daiquiris, that's what that is, chicken and daiquiris. And Hattiesburgers and Blues, we wanted a live music, not a venue, but just a place where you can listen to live music, but also get a great hamburger and fries. Southbound Bagel and Coffee Shop was perfect, even though we didn't name that one, but I mean that's exactly what it is, bagels and coffee. We've expanded on the menu a little bit, but we just like to keep them simple. Blue Jazz kind of puts you in the mind of New Orleans and with Cajun cuisine, and so you kind of know what to get when you come to Blue Jazz. And our newest one, Bourbon on Front, we have over 30 bourbons in-house and keep it and pair those with fresh fish and steaks off the grill.
You have 5 restaurants. How are you able to juggle all 5?
I have a great staff, and a lot of people have been with me through the 7 or 8 years we've been open, and so we have pretty good institutional knowledge of what we need to do in all locations. We employee share, so I move them around, and they get an opportunity to work in different places, so they kind of help us keep things going. They're our eyes and ears, and we give them an opportunity to grow, and I think in exchange they help us grow.
Do you alternate between your 5 restaurants to work?
Pretty much on a weekly basis. I just kind of assess where I think I'm needed. Southbound Bagel gets a lot of my attention because it starts the earliest on the block at 7 a.m. And I just kind of work my way through the block after that. And most of the time I'm ending either at Blue Jazz or Bourbon on Front because they're more night business.
Are there any plans of opening a new restaurant in the future?
Not at this time, but who knows? I mean, when you have 5 restaurants, you're always looking for more opportunity. I just want to have opportunities to grow in downtown, and maybe one day bring downtown something that we that we don't have already.
What advice would you give to an aspiring restaurant owner?
My advice is always, whatever industry you're in, find someone that's already working or owning a business in that industry or corporation, and work with them and learn the ins and outs of your craft, and see if this is something that you really like to do. And it's kind of like on-the-job training. You get paid for it, but you can really assess and see what it takes to be an entrepreneur, because entrepreneurship is hard, and but it's rewarding at the same time. But it's a difference between doing something you love and doing something you love that you have to get paid for.
What has been the most rewarding part of being a restaurant owner?
I think the most rewarding part for me is seeing my employees grow, just giving them an opportunity to, especially for the ones that want to have a career in the hospitality industry. But one of the biggest things I get a kick out of is walking through the restaurants and seeing people eat good food and their reaction to good food. So it that's one of the things that I enjoy, talking to customers and getting feedback from them and letting them kind of tell us where we need to go from there sometimes.
We briefly talked about Farris Street in Jackson. Is that something you would like to see in Hattiesburg?
I just want downtown to be unique to its own self. I mean, we definitely take different ideas from other places in Mississippi, other downtowns, but I think this place has its own unique ways of doing things. I think we have a really good start. We have a lot of good things on the horizon, but the main thing we want is for people to be able to park, walk, eat, shop in downtown Hattiesburg.
And before we come to a close, is there anything you would like to say or add that you feel like I didn't cover?
Well, I always speak, and I feel like I'm an ambassador for downtown. I always like to say downtown is open for business. So if you're looking for space to own or to rent and see if your dreams can come true, I always say try to start in downtown Hattiesburg. We'd love to have you.
Thank you so much for talking with us today. I'm Sonia Woods for the Berg Podcast.
In our first audio essay, Lauren Henderson reflects on how moving away for college changed the way she sees her hometown.
I've always pictured driving away, looking in my rearview mirror and watching as Slidell, Louisiana faded out behind me as I moved on to a better place. Somewhere new, somewhere cool, somewhere that I could really fit in. I've done a lot of traveling throughout my life, and it was like every new city I visited, I could imagine making it my home. Round Rock, Texas, Boulder, Colorado, Pensacola, Florida. Moving anywhere that wasn't Louisiana felt like a dream. I wanted seasons that changed more than just from hot to slightly less hot. I wanted something different, something bigger. Every road trip, every family vacation, I would look out of the car window and picture what it would be like to start over in a place where I wasn't just another random kid from a small town. Honestly, even my family wanted out of our town. I have 3 older brothers, and all of them moved away once they turned 18. They moved to places like Texas, New Mexico, and Colorado, the exact places that I'd always wanted to live. Even my parents, who'd also grown up in Louisiana, wished to leave. Louisiana had a lot to admire, but we'd grown so used to it that waking up every day in the same place felt boring. Then I left. I moved away to Hattiesburg, Mississippi for college. I was so excited to start fresh and make all new memories in a new town. And at first, it was exciting. New people, new streets to learn, new places to eat, and I was finally away from home, free to build my life somewhere else. But as time passed, I realized just how much I missed home. I missed sitting in traffic on Gauze Boulevard. I missed my local Starbucks where I knew all of the workers. I missed my local grocery store. I missed everything that I never even realized that I enjoyed. I ended up constantly finding new reasons to go home, or I'd make my mom come up to visit me anytime I felt homesick, but I couldn't leave. The crazy thing was, I had made a lot of friends, and I would find myself canceling plans with them just so I could go home and sit in my bed. There was really nothing that compared to sitting in my own room at home. I remember specifically the first family event that I missed. I had an event that I was doing photography for, and I couldn't get out of it to go home, even just for the night. It was my aunt's birthday dinner, and even though it was something small that wouldn't have mattered much in everyday life, it mattered a lot, solely because I couldn't be there. I was devastated when I opened my phone that night and saw all of the photos of my family eating at my favorite restaurant. I was already missing Slidell, but this made me miss my family. It was like I associated Slidell with my family, and when I missed my family, I missed Slidell. It took me a lot to realize just how much Slidell was a part of me. The things I once saw as reasons to leave became the things that I longed for. The slower pace. The people who always waved even if they didn't know you. The seafood that nothing in Mississippi could quite match. Every little piece of home became something I appreciated in a way that I never had before. There's just something special about Louisiana that I never noticed until I wasn't surrounded by it anymore. The culture, the traditions, the food, it's all so deeply rooted in who I am. In Hattiesburg, I found myself explaining things that had always seemed normal to me. Some people didn't understand why we celebrated Mardi Gras the way we did, why we were so obsessed with the crawfish season, or why we could tell the difference between good gumbo and just okay gumbo. They didn't get why I craved beignets or why I'd drive almost an hour every weekend just to visit. It was little things like that that reminded me how much of my identity was tied to where I came from. People always say distance brings fondness, but living in Louisiana made me realize how true that statement was. Now, every time I pass the Louisiana welcome sign, I get a sense of happiness. I don't know, it's just something about the blue sign that reads, Bienvenue en Louisiane, that brings me joy. I know that once I cross that state line, I'll be back where I belong. It feels strange now telling people that I want to move back home after graduation. After all those years of dreaming about leaving, it almost feels ironic to admit that I miss it. I know that life may take me elsewhere, maybe out of state, maybe across the country. But no matter where I go, Louisiana will always pull me back in. Maybe it's because of my family. Maybe it's because of my friends. Or maybe it's simply because home is home, no matter how far you go. Nowadays, I go home fairly often, but every time I leave, I see Slidell fading away in my rearview mirror like I'd always imagined. Instead of feeling relieved that I'm finally getting away, I feel kind of sad, knowing what I'm missing out on when I'm not there. I'm Lauren Henderson for the Berg Podcast.
In our second audio essay, Sonia Woods describes her weight loss journey into a healthier lifestyle.
I remember my reflection glancing back at me as I walked past the mirrors at my former retail job. The endless number of mirrors reminded me of what I didn't like, which was my body. People said I looked fine, but I didn't like what I saw deep down. This is when I started to look at my body's exterior and how I presented myself to the world. I masqueraded my feelings by telling myself lies, but a part of me knew I didn't like what stared back at me. Do I keep feeding myself lies to make myself feel better? Or do I pretend to keep putting up this facade because I didn't want to do the necessary work? How did I get here? Well, it all started when I was working at McDonald's. There weren't many job options for a teenager living in a small city like Natchez. McDonald's wasn't ideal for me, but I found myself not only applying there, but also receiving a phone call for an interview and taking a job offer. It's funny how I landed in the very place I always said I didn't want to work. After all, beggars can't be choosers, right? As an 18-year-old, I wasn't thinking about unhealthy eating habits. Honestly, I was too young to even care at the time. When you're a fast food employee, you often receive discounted or free meals. Who would turn down a free or discounted meal? I know I didn't at the time. The smell and taste of French fries were hard to escape working in this environment on a daily basis. As time progressed, eating fast food became like second nature because when I wasn't eating at McDonald's, I enjoyed eating at restaurants like Zaxby's and Raising Cane's. I was eating out a few times a day, every day. Something I didn't even realize turned into an unhealthy habit. I didn't realize how the weight gradually crept up on me until I severed ties with them years later. The weight didn't happen overnight. Working in retail was an eye-opening experience. When I started working in retail as a sales associate, the mirror stole glances at my body. Insecurities constantly reminded me that I didn't like what I saw staring back at me. It was like having mixed emotions with a combination of frustration and determination. It influenced me to ignite change. I'm not sure when it clicked, but I knew I had to change my life. I got a gym membership at Planet Fitness, but I didn't utilize it until a year later or so. Can you believe that? My Planet Fitness key card was always on my car keys, so there was no excuse for not using it. For some reason, it clicked in my head to start using my Planet Fitness gym membership, but it was a slow, gradual process. And then I started changing my diet a little afterward by preparing my own foods. As the saying goes, it takes 21 days to break a habit. But my journey was trial and error that took years of consistency and hard work. It took me a while to understand that your weight is 70% of what you eat and 30% of exercise. I was finally able to break that unhealthy eating habit. I eventually lost 20 to 30 pounds through diet and exercise, and I was proud of my progression. I didn't see the immediate results I wanted, but hard work and consistency paid off in the long run. What started as a weight loss journey has transformed into a healthier lifestyle. People don't understand until they work in the fast food industry how easy it is to gain weight because of how accessible and inexpensive the food is. Now that I no longer work at McDonald's, I try to be cognizant of what I consume for my body. In hindsight, I didn't realize how working at McDonald's was one of the roots of my issues. I've come far in my weight loss journey and strive towards a healthier lifestyle. But I know the marathon continues and that fitness is not a journey, but a lifetime commitment. I'm Sonia Woods for the Berg Podcast.
Thank you for tuning into the Berg Podcast. This podcast is produced by students in Dr. Dave Davies' MCJ 344 podcasting class in the School of Media and Communication at the University of Southern Mississippi. The producer for this season's episodes is Salaudin Ahmed. Our music is from Upbeat. Cover art by Madison Calkins and Greta Graves. We'll see you next week on the Berg Podcast. I'm your host, Justin Suarez.